So far, we covered the if statement. If statement is useful when you have a condition and you decide to take an action when the condition is met. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, you not only want to take an action when the condition is met, you also want to take another series of action if the condition is not met. For example, if it's raining, I will take umbrella. If it's not raining, I'll take my sunscreen. This is the if-else statement that we are going to talk about. The if-else statement adds the ability to conditionally execute code when the if statement is either true or false. So in this case, is it cold outside? If yes, then we wear a coat. This is the traditional if statement. But if the condition is not met, if the Boolean expression is false, then we go through no, wear shorts. Let's use an example of division. We all know that we have to keep division zero, not zero. Otherwise, it will fail, right? So we have a code here that this program demonstrated the if-else statement with this Java doc comment. So we have this create, get number, get the second number, the input block, and then here the logic is actually written, the output is actually a part of the logic itself. If number equals to 0, which means you are going to have a divide by 0 error. Then instead of getting into an error, we will print out a message. And this block will be executed when number 2 equals to 0. If number 2 is not 0, then we'll go into this else statement, this else block, that we will carry out the division and print out the value, right? So if statement is still the same, but we add else and its code block, whenever the Boolean expression is false, that's the if-else statement. Followed by here, yes, Boolean statement is true, go this way. Else, false, go else. If an if statement appears inside another if statement, it's called a nested if statement. The nested if is executed only if the outer if statement results in a true condition. So the flow will be like this. If it's cold outside, yes, then we ask, is it snowing? Wear a parka. If it's snow, then wear a jacket. Else, wear shorts. So this loop itself is it's not a loop. This block itself is an if-else statement. Inside this if-else statement, the code block of if statement is a if statement, is one more if statement. Also, it does not necessarily mean you have to put this into the if branch. You can also put this if-else statement in the else branch, depending on your logic. Either way is fine. So let's look at this long qualifier Java code. As always, we have the comments properly commented. We get the input, and our code blocks are properly separated by empty line. Now this is the if-else statement. We have an if salary greater than, then we will execute this block. And within this block, we have another if-else. So if salary greater than 30,000 and our years on job less than 2, then we will execute this block. And this else matches this if. So this is the sample code where you can see the embedded if-else. Now, curly brace use is not required if there's only one statement to be conditionally executed. So in fact here, because there's only one statement, You don't even need these two curly braces. However, sometimes curly braces can help make the program more readable, and I would even remove this sometimes. I will say curly braces can help make the program more readable because then it matches better, it looks better. If I suddenly have something missing here, it will look unmatched, and this can cause confusion. In addition, you are writing this code by yourself, but in the future, if you want to add more statement into this block or into any block, at that time, it will be very helpful if you already have curly brace in place. Otherwise, you may be just adding some code and forgot to add a curly brace. Then you will run into error. So for this reason, I recommend you always write curly brace, even if you only have one single statement inside any block. Additionally, proper indentation makes it much easier to match else statement with their corresponding if statement. So here, with the proper indentation, you can clearly see this if matches this else. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's say I remove this curly brace. So for now, if matches this else, and if this matches this else. When I remove this else, which if does this else match? The indentation suggests it's matching this if. However, what really happens is, okay, I will run this so you can see. If salary greater than 3,000, if I input 29,000, what will happen? Enter a year, I put the 4 years. And you can see that it terminated without outputting anything. Why? Because here, the salary we input is less than 30,000, and no code is executed, which means this else actually matches with this if. We already said Java will ignore black spaces, so indentation sometimes can be deceiving. This else, although it's indented the same way as this if, will only match with the first if on top of it. So this if and else is one statement. That's why I suggest you always write curly brace. If you remove else here, because of this curly brace, there's no confusion that this else will be executed. Let me run this now. And you are entering annual salary. I'm putting 29,000 again. And the number of years, I'm going to put 4 again. And this time, I have this message. This time, this else, because of the curly brace, matches this if. Okay, so always write curly brace for if else. This will help you. It will make sure it's readable and can eliminate potential errors.